Yeah, congratulations. I'm Ahmed Ashkar. I'm the CEO and founder of the Holt Prize Foundation. I'm Palestinian American, and this is my story. What's the capacity on the housing for the refugees? Immigrated to the U.S. with absolutely nothing. We struggled, and as fate would have it, I would later go on to meet billionaire Bertil Holt, which would shape the next decade of my life. I'm most interested in the people behind the idea.
No matter what the challenge is, and no matter how much money you have or don't have, the 2018 Holt Prize Challenge.
How cool would it be if we had a spokesman, and if that spokesman was President Bill Clinton?
Will be about the power of energy to positively transform the lives of at least 10 million people within 5 years by 2023.
So, what have you learned from growing up in America and being American? Diversity. I was born in Kansas, actually, in 1982. My parents immigrated to the US in the 70s and then somehow found their way over to the Midwest. Growing up in Kansas as a Muslim American, Palestinian American, was really a unique experience. Number one, we were probably the only Arab and Muslim family in town. I grew up in a small city called Leavenworth, most famous in America for its federal penitentiary. My parents had the tough decision to either send us to public school or send us to Catholic school, which was the safest and more of a high education, if you will. They ended up sending us to Catholic school. And one of the strangest moments as a kid, I was probably in the first grade, and it was Wednesday. I remember it was like yesterday, and I was literally forced to go to church. I wasn't sure what to do, so I literally sat in the back and watched as all my friends went through and really did their first communions. And that was something that shaped my adulthood and really has made me the way that I am today. Ma, what are you making?
بدي أعمل شوية فطاير بسبانخ وشوية منقوشات مشان تاكل يا حبيب قلبي أنت ولا كيف؟
All right, let's see. You go ahead. You're gonna imagine it. What do you want me to do?
الفرن on ماما؟
The top or the bottom, Ma?
لا خلص it's on
Bottom?
ماما the bottom. Yeah. Thanks. شكرا.
Growing up as a kid in Kansas was always an experience as a Palestinian American. We were always the kids to take things like mlukhiyah and matlube to our school lunches. And every time one of our friends came over to the house and they would open up the refrigerator, they'd see this, green stuff in 2-liter bottles. And they think it was like drugs or weed or something. And it was za'atar. Like every Palestinian family, we later came to find out, has a year's worth of za'atar in their mom's freezer. And the za'atar will be the same recipe.
الزعتر من فلسطين هذا طبعا.
It's the same.
سمسم وزعتر وكله من فلسطين.
والسماك, the mix. The same mix we use for the za'atar fries at Falafi Inc., I guess.
Okay.
How come you put more zit?
عشان to get هيك like rubbery.
Yeah.
See? Once the dough is like clay dough, it's perfect.
My parents didn't spare anything in raising us and sacrificing for us. And in fact, it's how I raised my children. We were raised in a house that, even though my dad went to medical school at the University of Baghdad, was one of the top students coming out of Palestine, immigrated to the US with nothing, we came from a family of pride and legacy from Palestine, but we were raised in a way that I always joke with my friends, like I didn't know that my parents were stable when I was growing up. I thought that we were like everyone else living in Leavenworth. We struggled. We didn't drive fancy cars. We had to hustle. And I think it was in that hustle that our parents taught us values. And it was through my mom's commitment to our household that I learned everything. Can you pass me the za'atar? I need a spoon for the za'atar too, right? Or should I use my hands?
No, use your hands. It's easier.
You sure? Okay.
But الزيت بالمعلقة.
All right. Now, where's the zait zaytoun from, Mom? I heard you guys talking about getting some from the Daffa the other day.
جبت مرة من الضفة من فلسطين من زيت أهل بابا طبعا.
From Seda?
From Seda. فهلا.
Is it true that they have the best za'atar and zait in the world in Seda?
I think so. I don't want to brag, but yes.
Yeah. So what's the story there in Seda? I remember going there as a kid.
أنا لما تزوجت رحت على سيدا كان أهم شيء بحياتي لقمة خبز الطابون وزيت الزيتون والجبنة البيضاء كانت تيتا تعملها بالبيت. عن جد كانت تشهي.
ستي معدنان or تيتا
فريد؟ تيتا معدنان من بابا
Yeah.
كانت تعمل اللبنة والجبنة.
I remember the white cheese.
the white المربع كان أطيب شيء بسيدا كنت أنا أصلا ما أرضاش آكل أكل. بس الخبزة والجبنة.
Yeah, I remember when we were there.
والخبز المقمر بالطابون.
As kids we used to sleep.
تيتا أم فريد أمي الله يرحمهم تعلمت منها الفلافل اللي هو أنت حبيته كتير. وبلشت تقول اتخطت وأنا مش عارفة.
فلافل ink was in the back of my mind.
Yeah.
That's good.
سبحان الله.
والفطاير سبانخ, whose recipe is that?
هو أنا تعلمته من أمي بس لما إجت أمي زارتني قالت والله أذكى فطيرات دقتهم بحياتي فطبعا تعليم أمي لمسات أمل.
مميز. Is this the right size?
Yes.
Is that good?
ما شاء الله عليك أنت وطانيا والله صرتوا تعملوا أحسن مني.
I just want to make sure we do it right.
No ما شاء الله.
ويعني أنا I can't wait to get back to Palestine because now I haven't been to Palestine since.
اعملها
closer together. Okay. To get back down there. To get the knafe. That's the next.
Oh my God, الكنافة.
We need a recipe for knafe.
تيتا فريد used to make كنافة عشان كانت تقرف كثير بتاكل من برا فكانت تعمل كنافتها فوق الستوف هون.
Well, do you know what her secret is?
لازم أعرف أنا أعملها. الجبنة الكويسة طبعا.
زيت first or
زيت first.
Okay, do you need another?
في ناس بخلطوا الزيت مع الزعتر. أنا I like to spread oil بعدين أحطيها كمل الصينية ماما.
I'm gonna do a little bit of this. Is that enough?
I like أعملها هيك لها صحن العجينة.
Is that enough?
Yeah.
Yeah. You know when we first opened Falafel Inc. we called it Falafel and Fatair. I don't know if I ever told. I never.
تروح بالفطاير معناته.
I mean that's the next move. That's the plan. But that's why I want to get back.
شايف بحب أعملها بحف العجينة. It's nice like a plate.
You know, I remember when we were younger, we used to always eat the za'atar in a wet form. What's up with that?
الفطاير الكبيرة يعني؟
Yeah.
قصدك الفطاير الفلسطينية الورق الأخضر. طبعا من لسه بعمله.
Who's all coming over today?
شايف العجينة شو لوك ما شاء الله. كمان الكفوف بيساعد كتير على الخمرة. العجينة نفسها بتحب الكفوف.
Did you used to bake when you were in Palestine طول الكرم؟
لا والله never.
Why not?
عشان كل شيء جاهز هناك. ما أمي الله يرحمها تعمل كل شيء.
Really?
بعدين كنا مدللين إحنا.
Yeah, I remember you used to tell me that when you wanted strawberries, that سعر السوق of the strawberries used to go up عشان سيدو أبو فريد كان يتاجر السوق الفواكه
والخضروات والفواكه كان موزع.
Yeah.
فكان يجيب لنا أي شغلة بدنا إياها أكيد.
The good days or America days were the good days?
No, good days over there and good days here, of course. I cannot live without both of here and there.
Yeah.
I love there and I love here.
Ahmed is a wonderful brother. I mean, there is no more supportive brother than Ahmed. He is the type of guy that would give you his last dollar. He is a unifier. He wants the family to be together. That's the big reason everyone came from Kansas City to Washington, is because he wanted them close to him. So he's the ultimate brother. His time has been so sparse lately just because of all the things he has going, which has made it hard for him, and I know that eats at him a little, but he's just a wonderful brother, great supporter, and encourager, and always wants the best for you, and so at any cost that there is.
You're
sure.
still a scrub, bro. How's the barbecue business?
Man, it's come a long way in a short year, really.
Yeah?
Business is starting to pick up a little bit, and things are starting to take off. But I think a lot of it has to do with some of the rebranding and remarketing that we did recently.
Yeah, you like that.
Thanks, man.
I told you I'm a marketing whiz.
Yeah, I mean, that has paid off.
When's the new store opening?
So the Bristol location should be opening really any week now. We're just jumping through the last few hoops.
Okay.
Trying to get
You're killing it, bro. I was over there the other day. Beef ribs?
Beef ribs. We got nachos on the menu now. We've got a spicy chicken sandwich. You know, we've really trying to change the game from just barbecue to really just a great place to get food.
A couple Palestinian boys killing the barbecue game.
No doubt, man. Who'd have ever thought, right?
Good.
No, it's going real well.
Let's play again.
Let's go. Ahmed is a natural leader. All right. He owns the room when he walks in. He has a magnetic personality. He has always led since the time he was little. And I think it's just a natural fit. We always say to each other, because we both have those characteristics, that it's something you cannot teach. You either have or you don't have. And he just has a little bit more of it than the average person. So natural leader, and is just what he does is tailor-made for him to lead impact and change, you know, little dose of changing the world. Man, it's really picking up over the summertime, bro.
Do you need my help with anything?
Just keep up the marketing, man. The PR, the marketing. All that stuff's starting to pay off, man.
You need to start paying me for this.
You know I can't afford that yet now. Let's not get crazy.
When's the opening day for the next store? So in my last year of college, I really started thinking about what I wanted to do next in life. And it was a pretty easy decision for me because I just really wanted to make my parents, who immigrated to the US with absolutely nothing and raised us to be the best we could be, was how do I make mom and dad proud? So I decided to literally pack up and head to New York. So I became an investment banker, and at a very early age, within 3 years, I became one of the top traders, and I ended up managing a sales team of over 50 people. By 2008, I had 5-6 years of Wall Street and investment banking experience. Traveled all around the world. I used my Arabic linguistic skills, my sensitivity to the Muslim world, and my upbringing in Kansas, which I think made me an all-around nice guy, to really bridge capital between the Middle East and New York. And by 2008, I found myself at a crossroads because literally March 2008, the market collapsed. And I was trading commercial mortgage-backed securities. While they're Sharia compliant, some of the first of their kind in the world, it led to the crash of the financial markets in the US. At which time, I really felt like not only disappointed society, but most importantly, I disappointed my parents. Because instead of having success, they actually viewed me in the same category that they viewed all the negativity that was in the news, that was in the papers, that was the topic of dinner tables around the world, that these Wall Street bankers ruined society. And I found myself needing something more, but I wasn't sure what that more was. So I actually ended up choosing a business school that at that time was less known, but it was the Halt International Business School. And as fate would have it, I would later go on to meet billionaire Bertil Holt, which would shape the next decade of my life. All right, so bro, I was telling Dad earlier about, he was asking me, how's it feel? 10 years at Holt Prize. And then I was thinking to myself, I don't know if I ever told my bros the story. So I was telling Dad, I was telling Haalat of the time when I got started. Do you remember what I was going through?
Yeah, you had a dilemma on your hands.
Yeah.
You had some offers coming in.
Yeah, right after my MBA.
That's right, and you weren't sure which direction to go.
I asked Amjad, I was like,
I told you the offer wasn't good enough.
I think you told me go to the bank. Yeah, or the offer wasn't good enough.
The offer wasn't good. I said counter.
I was in banking. I'm sure I would have told you not to go to
Yeah,
banking.
so I get the call from the billionaire, Dad, and tell him, when I asked you, guys, we always go to Pops for advice, all of us. And I asked Dad, I said, Dad, what should I do? Should I take the job with the investment bank, or should I go with Bertil Holt, the billionaire?
I told you with the millionaire, you're right. هذا I encourage you even. I know you will follow his steps, to be successful and hardworking. Yeah, that's why. This is really important and الواحد دائما look up. Even if you have a good job, you can do a better. Look at your brother Amjad. He always change jobs like you change your cup of coffee. He always he find a job next day.
Yeah.
ليش؟ لأنه he really worked hard for his degrees. Yeah, it's same thing like you do. You open a restaurant like.
You remember, Ala, your first job in banking?
Absolutely. I mean,
Dad basically.
yeah.
Right?
Graduated from school.
Did
If
you know
remember
the
Dad.
story?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Graduated in December.
Of course, yeah.
And then it was April, and I still haven't had any good offers.
Yeah, you're getting like 15, 20 grand, whatever.
Awful. And Dad said, son, take the offer. Take the first one, and you will build up your career.
صح.
And he's right. I mean,
even I remember you said, this guy's only paying me $24,000 a year.
$24,000 a year.
I told you, what do you expect? He said 30. I said, this is $6,000.
Take the job. Here's $6,000.
Take
Like,
$6,000
stop
check
complaining.
from me.
Yeah.
Must go to work.
Go to work.
And look where you are now.
Great advice. So Dad always has great advice through the years, no question. And even if it involves a little risk sometimes.
35 minutes, everything will
Glove off. Get that glove off.
Cansley Barbecue Company restaurant at 16, but we were grilled before that,
Ready, bro?
You want to do some barbecue?
Yeah.
Okay, here it comes. I think this guy, if he sits, like if he rests for a while,
Yeah, I think it'll be
we're coming back on the grill after we put some sauce on, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, great.
Let's come on. Let's finish the other guys off.
Yeah,
And
great.
then we'll put these back on. That way you get some power, some firepower.
I like it.
My brother Ala served as, growing up, my best friend. He might not consider me his best friend because I was the brother that was 2 years younger that always tagged along. And I remember literally him getting like smacked across the face by my mom because he might not take me somewhere when I was a kid. And as we grew up, we developed a friendship, both as people and as colleagues. So we both played high school football. And I was, the star running back, and my brother Ala was an offensive lineman, so he would block for me. So our relationship, in high school really blossomed, I think, because we're becoming men together, and we were, on and off the field, people who had similar values, similar cultures, and similar friends.
One more.
Taste that sauce.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
What is that?
That's our district barbecue sauce, bro.
That's the district?
That's your sauce, homie.
Damn, it tastes even better than I remember. It tastes a little sweeter.
Probably because it's been sitting in the fridge.
Maybe because my mouth's full of smoke.
Yeah.
All that bitterness.
My parents are to credit for bringing us this diverse culture. They never raised us as strictly Arab or strictly Muslim or American. They raised us first as good people. I didn't even know the difference between a Sunni Muslim and a Shia Muslim until I went to college, literally. My parents never told us we could only be friends with Muslims. My brother Ala married a Catholic. She's Muslim now, but when they got married at the time, she was Catholic. And my parents encouraged that. So, my parents raised us to be human first. And I think it's that human touch that allows all of us to be so successful in life. And for me in particular, to have impact. I don't discriminate. Even with Falaafel Inc., even at the Holt Prize. Yes, we're Palestinian, and I'm not going to ignore the region of the world that I'm from. What's the ultimate equalizer that we have in dunya, in the world? It's food. Falaafel Inc. is just such a phenomenal story. Yeah, congratulations. I'm Ahmed Ashkar. I'm the CEO and founder of the Holt Prize Foundation. I'm Palestinian American, and this is my story. What's the capacity on the housing for the refugees? Immigrated to the U.S. with absolutely nothing. We struggled, and as fate would have it, I would later go on to meet billionaire Bertil Holt, which would shape the next decade of my life. I'm most interested in the people behind the idea. In that first meeting I had with Mr. Bertil Holt, I think he saw something in me that he'd probably seen before, because he's notorious for taking young guys. I was literally 26 years old at the time, and putting them in huge mega roles of responsibility. So I think even in that very first moment, we sat down, our first meeting was over at dinner, and he didn't ask me one question about my program, my company, what I had hoped to achieve. He asked me very clearly, Ahmed, tell me what it's like to be a Palestinian in America. And I believe that it was in that moment and in that conversation that Bertil Holt realized that I had a great upbringing, that I was raised by a family who really didn't pay that much attention to money, that was more interested in impact and really on society. So it was in those 3 hours that I think he got to know me, I got to know him. And he asked me then, he said, and I remember it like it's yesterday, he said, you know, when the time is right, will you take me to Palestine? I would like to have impact there. And I told him, I said, better yet, if you fund our program, I'll have the impact that we all want to see, not just in Palestine, not just in the Middle East, but on youth around the world. Great. Who can tell me what just happened? Okay? That's what movement building is all about. And what's happening today with the future of business is all about movements. And what we do at the Holt Prize, which I founded about a decade ago, is inspire people like Pedro to do what they do and do it best, because all it takes is one. I'm going to talk to you today about why impact is changing everything we know or used to know. The Holt Prize Foundation enables young people around the world to go from job seekers to job creators. We teach them how to build businesses, but not any ordinary business, a startup which seeks to create $1 billion in value by helping 1 billion people. So the idea is it's for good and for profit.
No matter what the challenge is, and no matter how much money you have or don't have, people still have to figure out how to turn their good intentions into positive changes that move other people's lives, to build a world where every day we make the definition of us bigger and the definition of them smaller.
In the early days of building the foundation, like any other startup, we had our struggles. Where was our market? Who was going to be our customers? Where our value proposition was going to lie? And literally, I can remember it like yesterday, when we put President Bill Clinton's name up on a whiteboard and said, you know, how cool would it be if we had a spokesman, and if that spokesman was President Bill Clinton? A lot of people think it came easy, but it didn't. So the next thing I did was I took a flight directly to New York City, and I went to the Clinton Foundation headquarters. And you know, the story goes, within 2 weeks, President Clinton had agreed to feature us on stage at the upcoming Clinton Global Initiative meeting, and that's where our relationship started. Without further ado, I'd like to invite to the stage the 42nd President of the United States of America, William Jefferson Clinton. Startups are basically the hot buzzword of not just here in America or in the Middle East, but really around the world. And this idea of what makes a great startup, what makes a great innovation, and what makes a breakthrough is something that I've become somewhat of an expert at, only because I hear more pitches than any other probably human in the world every single year. And what we look for at Holt in our winning startups and those that receive funding from us, which this year will exceed $10 million, including a grand funding opportunity of $1 million, have 3 very distinct characteristics. And I think one is grit. I'm not really interested in the idea or in what the value proposition is. I'm most interested in the people behind the idea. Do, learn, do. It's make-believe until you go and act.
It's been a lot of work.
Why aren't we there yet? What are the barriers?
Every failure was a spectacular failure, but that means that what's gonna work is going to be a spectacular success.
I've literally learned more here in these 6 weeks than I have in 2 years at college.
Look for your team name on the screen. How are they going to persevere? Because creating a startup is difficult. It's probably one of the most challenging things any human being will ever undergo as it relates to business. So I'm really looking for those soft skills. How do you handle pressure? How are you going to handle not having an income for a week? What are you going to do when your back is against the wall and you think that competition is going to overtake you in your product? The second thing is I'm looking for really the right problem. Did you solve the right problem to begin with? Because life is way too short for us as innovators to be thinking about the wrong problems to solve. And third, and I think this is the most underappreciated skill, is kindness. Prize has offices and impact all over the world. Every year we have participation from over 100 countries. One of the things we do in Beirut, which serves as our Middle East headquarters, is we activate the entire Levant and Gulf and Northern Africa ecosystem. What that means is we go into universities and we tell those students that your life doesn't have to end with your degree, or that don't worry that there's high unemployment in your country and in your nation. That doesn't mean you can't stay here. So we literally teach young people how to create value, how to turn nothing into something that people are willing to pay for or trade. And we do that through workshops, inspiration, educational platforms. I'm an assistant professor at some of the universities out in the Middle East. So is Kareem and other members of our team. And Kareem has done a phenomenal job of building the ecosystem, which is literally epicentered in Beirut, Lebanon.
Can I move around?
قابلت أحمد من حوالي 10 سنين في بوسطن في قهوة مع أصحابنا، والحاجة الوحيدة اللي بتذكرها يعني كويس قوي من المقابلة دي إنه كان بيحلم أحلام كبيرة، وكان عنده طموحات عالية، وكان عاوز يأثر على ملايين الشباب في العالم. ومن كتر ما طموحاته كانت كبيره في اول اجتماع ده انا نفسي قلت له على فكره انا يعني دي حاجه جميله اللي انت بتتكلم عليها بس عمرها ما هتصير. ودلوقتي 10 سنين بعد اول مره اتقابلنا احمد اسس شركه واثر على ملايين الشباب في حوالين العالم، فيعني حاجه فعلا الواحد يبقى فخور بيها.
Hey everybody, marhaba. I'm Ahmed Ashkar. Thank you so much, Kareem Samra. What a pleasure it is to be here in Beirut. So I launched a company which would give young people around the world a new opportunity. An opportunity to create a business which was impact-centered, profit-minded, and market-driven. My next big idea was, how do I get rich again, since I had just gone bust, by helping the poor? An idea in its time which was unheard of. What are you talking, especially as a Muslim? Because the idea of zakah and charity and tijara, business and sales and trading, were two completely different things. So how could you merge those two ideas together to create business? And everybody thought I was crazy. And in fact, the first person I told about this big idea was how I was going to get these great ideas in the door, fund them, scale them, and give young people an opportunity to pursue what I thought was everybody's new dream. And I go to my best bud, Kareem Samra, who you just heard from, who introduced me, and he said, Ahmed, noble idea, but no way. The market's not ready. You're never gonna either find a business that exists that can make money and change the world, or you're not gonna find an institutional or private investor that will fund them. So we began our journey of the whole prize. I told Kareem, I'll catch you on the flip side. Maybe one day you'll become a believer. The idea of social entrepreneurship, that's entrepreneurship that is both for good and for profit, can be a game changer in economies around the world. One reason that we've decided to focus in on the Middle East region is because if I look at the Levant, or if I look at the Gulf, I see the majority of the countries there at war or at conflict. And one thing social entrepreneurship does, it solves society's problems through really capitalistic approaches. Because we have dictators there, and because we have regimes that make it very difficult for small business to even come to life, the need for programs like the ones we have are critical to the long-term sustainability, peace, and opportunities that young people feel they have. If we don't want young people to go one way on the extremism side, where they're looking for economic return, they're looking for community, and they're looking for purpose, we must give them a substitute. And we feel that we've got the best substitute in the game. We've got an opportunity for young people to be a part of a community which is beyond just their Arab world communities. It's global. We give them an opportunity to make real money by creating real businesses that offer real value, but best of all is they get to do it in a way that has impact, that reshapes the government, reshapes society, and reshapes the people and their ability to live dignified lives.
On three, hold press on three. 1, 2, 3,
One of the very few countries in the Middle East which has a for us, by us mentality. They want not only the Lebanese people to be innovators, but they want the diaspora in the entire Arab world to look to Lebanon as the hub of innovation. They want them to bring their businesses there. They want to celebrate impact, and they want to celebrate entrepreneurship. And we couldn't be really as excited as we are in Lebanon to find a better home for our work that we do in changing young people's view of entrepreneurship and the world in general.
How you doing?
Good, man, good. I'm here in DC. Was in Beirut, traveling back. What's the capacity on the housing for the refugees? Like, how many homes are we talking about for the prototype? What can it build?
Well, I think that for the prototype one, I think if we do it's anywhere between 500 to 1,000.
Do we have any plans on an actual refugee who would benefit? So we do that human interest story while we're there on site, right? Let's say we have the King of Jordan visiting, right? Yep. Do we have somebody from the Zatari camp who we've said, hey, look, this is the real impact that a sustainable housing option could provide those living there?
Totally. Listen, if we want to me, my gut tells me this, Amar. If we want to pull in the big capital, right, the first big capital is going to come from the Middle East. If you want to secure that capital quickly, go do this demo right there, smack in the middle of
the crisis. Yeah, literally. Like, you're in the heart of the crisis. I've got a game-changing solution, literally, that can impact the lives of millions of refugees. Oh man, enjoy the beach, buddy. Okay, all right, see you, Gio. Bye. Guys, today's Friday. We're gonna have a great day today. We've got Friday lunch. It's one of the busiest days of the week for us. How would it go yesterday? Suleima?
Ayer estuvo bien, estuvo bueno el lunch. Muy ocupado, muy busy.
Oh, good.
Ya en la tarde, en la cena igual, muy ocupado.
Good. سليم؟
اليوم عندنا كاترينج الساعة 2 لليونيفرسيتي جورج تاون، وعندنا
كم واحد؟
25 واحد. وفي عندنا جروب سياح اليوم جاي 8 جاي من اوروبا هذول عندنا.
كيف سمعوا فينا؟
ستيفن.
ستيفن من شركة
بيجيب لنا اياهم. كل يوم بيجيب مجموعة جديدة وبعرفهم على شو بنعمل، كيف بنعطي للريفوجي.
نعم.
وشو الفود تبعنا.
هدف اليوم؟
الهدف اليوم يكون كل شيء بيرفكت.
أكيد؟
أكيد،
تخلي ال5 star rating عيال؟
5 star.
Falafel Inc. is just such a phenomenal story, not just because I'm the founder and not because it's falafel and hummus. It's what we preach at Holt in execution. And a lot of times people ask me, Ahmed, why are you wasting your time in the food business and with falafel? And I say to them, guys, what's the ultimate equalizer that we have in the world? It's food. Everybody eats. And it's the most simple and basic thing to understand. So I founded Falafel Inc. a couple of years ago when our Holt challenge was on solving the refugee crisis. And all of our startups were crying. They were saying to me, Ahmed, we were getting hate mail saying, you created a challenge that is not solvable through business. Refugees need charity. And I would push back and I would say, no, they don't. We can sustainably solve the refugee crisis through sustainable business. Again, nothing to do with Holt at the time or refugees. And literally, a couple weeks later, I'm back with my team and we're talking about the refugee challenge that we were doing with Holt. And lo and behold, literally within 6 months, I had this brand name called Falafel Inc. I called my friends over at the World Food Program and I said, I've got this great idea. How about we do a model where when people come to Falafel Inc., every $10 they spend in store, we are able to feed one refugee. And I'll go one up. I'll fill the stores with refugee employees so that I can not only give them food or give them charity, but I can restore dignity to refugees around the world by giving them opportunity. Okay, look guys, remember our mission, right? Every day, Salim, and you have to remind everybody why we do business. We do business to help refugees around the world. So far since opening, we've done 100,000. That's something we can all be proud of. And it's exciting for you guys to be here. It's exciting for me to have the opportunity to open more stores. And I want you guys to have a great day and remember why we're in business, okay? So that's it. Have a great day. Good luck today.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Hey everybody, welcome to Falafel Inc. We're now open. We're doing a big celebration today because we've served 100,000 refugees since opening. So I'm here, my name's Ahmed Ashkar, I'm the founder of Falafel Inc. And we're excited, we're opening at the Wharf. I just got back from there. We'll be open later this summer in about 60 days. And we've just signed another deal to open in Tyson's Corner. And we're growing nationally, so we appreciate everybody's support. So with that, we're open. Come on in, welcome, alhamdulillah. Alhamdulillah, welcome to Falafel Inc. Thank you guys, thanks for being here. I'm extremely proud of Falafel Inc. What makes me the happiest is when my mom goes and visits. And she goes there and she tells me about it. She comes back and she says, Abu Ahmed, like the falafel there was amazing. And I'm saying, Mom, it's your recipe. And she says, I'm so proud of you that you're able to take what we have as a family and share it with the world. And that's what makes me the proudest. Of course, our social mission. We fed over 100,000 refugees since opening our Georgetown location. There's plans in the works for another 10 locations that will allow us to feed 1 million refugees a year. And the ability to hire, feed, and restore dignity to refugees around the world also makes me proud. And finally, it's this kind of example. We're teaching the world that you can have bite-sized impact. And by the way, this is the cheapest falafel sandwich in town. At $3 in the heart of Georgetown, you can't get cheaper. So we're also, from an economics perspective, I'm very proud to show the world that you don't have to be a greedy capitalist and kind of gouge price-wise customers. You can make something affordable, your customer wins. You can make something have impact where society wins, and you can make something profitable enough where the entrepreneur wins. I call it the trifecta. So I think that's also something that I'm very proud of.
Man, I'm still getting hit up by people here who don't know you because of the whole prize. They know you because of Falafel Inc., man.
Where?
Every day.
In Beirut? Adam, there you are. Have a seat, boy. What name What name do you want for the baby? Guys, come on. If you don't come up with a name, then Daddy's gonna pick himself.
And you know, Daddy picks crazy names.
No, he's gonna pick Cayenne.
Cayenne, yeah, I like the name Cayenne. What's your pick?
What's your?
Jabriel.
You like Jabriel too? What other picks do you like? What other names?
Why do you guys like Jabriel anyway?
He's your friend.
Can you give me a trash thing? Tanya, my wife. We've been married 14 years now. And a lot of people, when I tell them that, they say to me, what? How old are you? You know, you've been married almost 15 years. And I joke with them and I say, well, you know, I'm 35, but I'm going on 50. And people often ask me, how did you meet your wife? And as a kid, remember, everything, put it in context. I grew up in Kansas, where literally the closest Palestinian family to us was probably 2 hours away. And our parents instilled high level of culture and value in us. I spent my summers in Palestine, and my mom always said, you know, like, you don't have to, but your life will be better if you marry a Palestinian girl. You'll keep your heritage and culture. The problem is, like, the only like real Palestinian wife candidates I ever saw were those that were like, you know, they're either my cousin or they were, you know, women that I would meet, you know, in Palestine. And I felt like my identity was that I was both American and Palestinian. But I never met a Palestinian American before. So after college, I moved to New York, and then from New York, I used to visit Washington, D.C. a lot for business. And I met a guy who, you know, became a friend of mine, and he invited me over. He lived in Washington, D.C., and he invited me over to his house for Mensef one day. And I'm literally like looking down, you know, at my plate of food or whatever, and here comes this beautiful, blonde-haired, blue-eyed, you know, princess that just kind of came into my life. And she's like, you know, here's your sign of Mensef. And I'm like, wow. And I'm looking up and I'm looking down. I'm like, great Mensef. And I'm like, who's this 10? She literally was a 10. And I tell Nabil afterwards, my brother-in-law now, I'm like, bro, like, that was your sister? And he's like, yo, bro, like, seriously, like, if you're at all interested, if you're interested in my sister, you gotta talk to my dad. What do you think if we lived in Palestine, what would we name our kid?
Palestine.
We could name Palestine, right?
It's a girl name.
Why not? It's not a girl name.
Yeah, it is.
It doesn't have to be. I think we should name Palestine.
No, we should name him Ali.
Ali?
No.
Ali's a good name.
No.
I like Ali.
How about Iyad?
Iyad is also a great name.
Iyad?
Yeah.
Who picked that name?
Me.
Adam, that was one of Adam's picks.
Remember, guys, we're going to Palestine in the summer, right?
No!
This summer. Not this summer, the one that's coming.
No!
Will be fun.
What do you mean?
We're gonna hang out with Susie at her house.
And
And we could see Amto Susie's cat.
And we can go to Tul Kerem.
And Mom's gonna get a heart attack?
No, do
Why?
you guys remember when we went last time?
Because you don't like cats.
Yeah, I really don't
Yeah,
like
I
cats.
remember last time I went to Palestine. It was when I was like a baby.
What do you mean a baby?
You were a
went
baby for Susie's wedding.
Which was...
That was like the other day. What, 3 years ago?
4.
That was not the other day.
Man, it's been 4 years already?
I think so. Actually, her anniversary's coming up.
Yeah. Watch this.
Ariana? Who's Ariana?
Who's Ariana?
It says Ariana.
Who said the name Ariana?
You.
So do you guys want to go to Palestine or not?
No. Yeah.
Yeah, of course.
Bye.
What's our favorite thing to do there when we get
Got
there?
to see Tutti.
Get to see Tuti?
Tuti.
And we got to see Cat.
Alhamdulillah, you know, I've been humbled with 3 beautiful children. Adnan is 10 years old, Layan is 7, Adam is 5, and a new baby, unknown what his name will be. It's going to be a boy. It's been an unbelievable experience. The best part of my life, the best thing that's ever happened to me, professionally and personally, are my kids.
Mama, we're gonna go to camp. Mama,
Camp?
we're gonna die.
Learn Arabic?
No.
Stop it.
I like kitties, but not cats.
Okay.
You like what?
Kitties, but not cats.
Just one.
She doesn't have a cat anymore, right?
Blue. I think she actually gave him to one of her friends.
Wait, she doesn't have any more cats?
I don't think so. You're thinking of Coco.
Well, I memorized most of it. I mean, I memorized some of it, but when I read it, I can read almost the whole surah.
Nice. With your teacher's help?
Do you want to practice?
No, not with that. Not with. Man.
Right now? No. Come on.
I don't feel like it.
Show mom.
I don't feel like it.
Okay. What about Arabic words? They teach you Arabic words at camp?
Nope.
And it's really been a tough and challenging experience to raise my children as second generation Palestinian Americans. I feel terrible sometimes when my kids, you know, my Arabic is pretty good, but you know, we work so hard at the house to have our kids learn their culture and their heritage. And it's been it's been a challenge, but it's a rewarding experience when you ask my daughter Leanne what her favorite food is, and she tells you what at Dawali and Mensaf. You know, you feel good about that, and you feel amazing with the opportunity to have healthy children and being able to raise them in America as Americans. One of the major developers in the Washington, D.C. metro area is of Syrian origin. And when they caught wind of our story at Falafell Inc. and how we help refugees from around the world, they called us and they said, we want you on our development. And the Wharf project in Washington, D.C. is the #1 waterfront development project in all of America. They literally called and said to me, Ahmed, you know, do you guys consider expanding? And we only had our first location at that time. And I was like, no way, we can't afford it. I'm just like small mom and pop, you know, I run this foundation. Like, I don't have enough money to be at Main and Main, you know, on the wharf. And they were like, don't worry about it. We've got, you know, special directive to have you guys come take a look and consider. And long story short, 6 months later, we're literally building and breaking ground. You know, I wish I could take credit for it, but it's the society's contribution to having impact. And that's why I think impact is tomorrow's currency. I think having impact trumps making money. It trumps getting famous. It trumps anything else in the world. There is no better gift than society, to give to society than to have impact. Yo, what's up, bro?
How are you, man?
Good, what's up, Habibi?
Are you back in DC?
Yeah, I'm back in DC, back with the fam. Lebanon was amazing. Want to check in with you. So, what's going on at the Lebanon office?
You know, I mean, we just had a great pitch event at essentially the Spotify of the Middle East.
Yeah, where's that? شو اسم المحل?
CEO and founder there.
شو اسمه?
Eli Habib.
شو اسمه?
His name is Eli Habib. He's the founder and CEO of Anghami, which is basically the Spotify of the Middle East. Huge success story here. And he spent about, you know, an hour with our teams.
Good, good. What's else latest with Whole Prize out there?
You know, we have about 70 campuses now across Lebanon participating in the program. I mean, it's you know, it's really taking off here. The youth are hungry for opportunity.
You've got to try to make it for the opening of the wharf for Falafell Inc.
Yeah, that's a huge, huge deal. I know. I have to be there. Absolutely, you're right.
We
that's a game changer.
We went by there today. They started construction, so I was chest fitting all the equipment and stuff today.
Man, I'm still getting hit up by people here who don't know you because of the whole prize. They know you because of Falafell Inc., man.
Where? In
every day.
In Beirut?
I'm like, Ahmad Asghar, CEO and founder. They're like, you mean Falafell Inc. guy, right?
Come on. There's more opportunity here because of our diversity, and I think that's the one word that I always say, you know, what have you learned from growing up in America and being American? Diversity. The people here that make up this country are good. And Arabs living here are more Arab than Arabs that I know living in the Middle East. So I would say with that, it's a good place to be. People often ask me for advice. They think that somehow based on my track record and what I've accomplished that I've got some good advice to give. And I think I always land back to the three same tokens of advice. Really follow your dreams, find the right tribe and solve the right problem will generally guide people down the right path, and hopefully you'll be as blessed as I've been and have the opportunity to have all the impact in the world that your heart desires.